Oh boy. Oh shit. This is it. He-Man Revelations Part 2 full review. Guess what, people? Guess what? That's right. I liked it. And here's why.
Here we go.
And here I go. In case it's the first time you ever come into my channel, this is what I want you to do. First thing I want you to do is please subscribe. Subscribe to this channel because I want it, I need it. Hit that notification bell because I don't want you to miss any material that I upload. Also, leave me a positive thumbs up. I don't know how, but it does help the YouTube algorithm. And leave a comment because I do read all your comments and I respond to them. There are so many things to discuss, so many things to talk about. He-Man Revelations Part 2, the long-awaited ending to a very controversial He-Man reimagining, so to speak. I know a lot of fans didn't like the first part of He-Man, but I liked it. Kevin Smith, a lot of people say, oh, he lied, he did this, he did that. He told a story to me. Is the story that some of us as fans, or I guess die-hard fans, hardcore fans want to see? I guess not. But going back to what I always say, you can't sit here and be a YouTuber, content creator, and talk about Hollywood or whoever, movie makers doing the same thing over and over and over. They're repackaged. They do it. They're repackaging this. But guess what? They didn't repackage He-Man. This is a totally different story, a totally different view, totally different outlook, and I liked it. Didn't have any problems with it. One of the main problems with it, I think, and I could be speaking, but I think what I'm about to say is probably going to be a hot take, but it's meant to be no disrespect. A lot of people keep saying about how they're empowering women and things are misogynistic and all that kind of stuff, and there's some kind of agenda, woke agenda, this and that and the other. Could it be that things are evolving into something different? Because for so long in the social hierarchy of stuff, the white Caucasian male has been the top dog, has been the apex predator. Now women, and now in some cases, minorities are getting their shot at the opportunities that they didn't get, and the people that have don't want the have-nots to get what they got. So part of this woke thing and people trying to do stuff and get agendas, there may be some truth to it, but some of it may be just evolution. Sometimes as much as we we don't want things to change, evolution is going to happen. Now to get into the this 5 episode, of course we saw Prince Adam come back, and man, once well, the first thing I didn't like about it, let me tell you, overall I like this. Like I said initially, I didn't have a problem with it, but I did not like Mark Hamill's portrayal of Skeletor. His voice sounded to me just like the Joker. Every time he talked and said a sentence, I could hear the Joker in Batman. So that was one thing that kind of nagging. It really caused me to not like it, but it was something that's noticeable whenever I heard him speaking as Skeletor. Excuse me. I heard the Joker from Batman. Another thing that I guess I didn't like was how people just always saying that I want something different. I want something different. We got something different. Kevin Smith gave us something very different, and I like the story. One, I was just recently on a stream with General Zod. Shouts out to him and his channel, and he was just talking about for one episode they totally cried. All the characters was crying and stuff. Part of that was the healing process, because in case you didn't know, Prince Adam. Well, this was to me it was stories and layers, different layers. Prince Adam, who is secretly He Man, we all know, And in the original story, there's only three people that know his secret: the sorceress, Orko, and Man at Arms. And of course, you want to call Quinjer. So four. The sorceress, Quinjer, Man at Arms, and Orko. Those are four that know his secret. Well, that big secret was put in place to protect them from He-Man's Prince Adam's enemies. But also in this iteration, that secret almost tore the royal family apart. In fact, it did. In fact, it tore it up apart so much was that Tila felt betrayed on one aspect from Adam. Also, the dad knew she didn't know her mother, so that's one aspect of it, one layer. Also, the mom did know, but she didn't tell her dad. But then when the dad found out that the mom knew that his son was in fact He-Man, he felt resentful towards her, and it put a rift and split in their marriage once they thought that Adam was dead. But of course, if you watch it, this is full spoiler. In case you haven't watched it, this is full spoiler. Tila brings Adam back. Adam comes back from the dead, wherever that heaven was. He comes back. Um, he starts to transform, but Skeletor stabs him. Then he takes the sword. He becomes Super Skeletor or God Skeletor, whatever you want to do. But then also, while he's doing that and being braggadocious and stuff, Adam says, "I wonder what would be like if I was to call upon the power without the sword." And he calls upon the power, and he's transformed into Savage He-Man. Well, He-Man is like looks like he's 7 feet tall, 200, 300 pounds of muscle, fast, agile. He is just a wrecking machine. He's like a Caucasian version of the Incredible Hulk. He has He-Man's strength and size. I think he's even bigger than the regular He-Man when he transforms to regular He-Man. He's like all the power and rage of the power of Grayskull, and he just puts a physical whipping. He is Skeletor's um, more than a match for Skeletor in his form, but he has no control over it. He's just pure rage and anger. What we didn't learn, what we learned, what we didn't know is that there's a resentment there with his father because his father always came at him at what he wanted him to be or what he should be, but he never appreciated Adam for what he was. And then, as you see in the video, Tila and her friend and Quindra is trying to calm Adam down because, um, okay, there's a terminology I don't use much. Mary Sue. In this particular show, Tila was Mary Sue with her powers. Of course, we find out that she is in fact the daughter of the sorceress and daughter of Man at Arms. They show the backstory on that, how the sorceress had to give up that family life to become the sorceress and recognize her full power and potential. And here, man, they really leveled up the sorceress. She was like godlike in the 80s and 2000s. The sorceress was so weak. How come so weak? Hey man, I'm about to do this. But in here, man, she had like ultimate power and knowledge. It was just crazy. And then there would seem to be some kind of curse that tethered whoever the sorceress was to Grayskull. She couldn't exist anywhere in human form outside of that castle. But of course, Mary Sue part, Tila not only learns to become the new sorceress, but she's like super powerful, and she kind of breaks that tethering, that magical tethering. She can come and go as she want to, in human form. And they show, of course, it looked like her and Adam at the end, maybe they have a romantic involvement. He touches her hands and stuff, and she tells him that she still needs He-Man and stuff in upcoming battles and stuff. So we kind of see that. Also, they brought back Orko. As we know, the Orko in the old 80s show was kind of a boob and a goof. Orko in this show, man, he is powerful. He's on point. And when he comes in, man, he is like kicking ass and taking names and wrecking shop. So I definitely like this version of Orko more so than I like in the past. We did see Fisto, and I can't think of the other guy at the beginning that was transformed into um, Skeletor's minions. They got killed. Um, Tila and her friend, I can't think of her friend, Anya, I think her name is, who becomes, if you watch at the end of the movie, she becomes a new Man at Arms because Tila becomes a new sorceress. He-Man's secret is revealed to his family, his mother and father. I don't think anyone else in the kingdom, but they know. The story mainly hinged on Evil-Lynn, and they do a backstory to show how Evil-Lynn and Skeletor met. Evil-Lynn was basically a child in this poor city, poor town, and she was about to be eaten, cannibalized, I guess, by her parents because they were so poor and hungry that she escaped into the gutters. And Skeletor refers to her. It is the name, I think, of the third um, show in this series, the second part. The show name was Gutter Rat. He referred to her as Gutter Rat in this particular episode. It kind of kicking a flashback, and we see how Skeletor came into her life. She was about to get beat up by some people who money she stole, and he did a portal and dispatched those two guys that was about to beat her up. And he brought her into his world, Snake Mountain, and taught her magic, strengthened her powers, and just became. At first, he treated her very nice, but then, of course, he became abusive and calling all these crazy names and stuff, and it was a very abusive relationship. Now, here, one thing that they did show was there was a sexual relationship between Evil-Lynn and Skeletor, which we never saw, or nothing was indicated in the previous He-Mans out of the '80s era. But in this was one of the ways she was able to get the upper hand on Skeletor. Um, she was always trying to do her due diligence and help Skeletor, but he was always verbally and emotionally abusive, sometimes physically abusive. And Beastman seemed to have, I don't know, feelings, but he seemed to be loyal to Evil-Lynn and would always try to talk to her and say, look, why are you letting him do this? Why are you letting him do that? He's always going to be abusive to you. You need to fight back. You're the sorceress now, because when Skeletor became God Skeletor, he made Evil-Lynn the sorceress of Grayskull because he knew that if he took that power or that position, he would be tethered to Grayskull because the rules were still intact. So he made Evil-Lynn, and he told her after the fact that, yeah, you're the new sorceress, but guess what? You can't leave. But the sorceress also is the gatekeeper to the power of Grayskull, which, for all intents and purposes, she was more powerful than Skeletor, but she was just too scared and afraid to use her power and take her claim until she was properly motivated. And that goes to women, the saying, hell has no fury like a woman scorned. So she used her feminine wiles, pretty much told Skeletor she wanted to have relations with him, to power down, because in his current super powered Skeletor form, he might would kill her. So, of course, dumb, like men do, he powered down, put his guard down. She started seduction. And while she was in the middle of it, she took the sword, and he was totally lost for words. Why he didn't fight back or use his magic staff or tried to fight her and get the sword back, I don't know. He didn't. And she held up the sword and said, by the power of Grayskull, and then she became super evil. And she had all this mystical cape and all this jewelry around her neck and muscled up stuff. She was like a very super version of of herself. She learned what Skeletor taught her when they go inside his little gate space portal gate room. He could see the whole universe and stuff, and just, I guess it would go by osmosis into his brain, into his body, into his being. He was learned the mysteries of the universe. So she wanted to recreate universe, I guess, in her version. So the first thing she did was blew up heaven, or destroyed heaven, where all the good heroes went to heaven. She and all the dead she brought back. So that's how Orko got back, because Orko was originally dead, was killed in the first part of this He-Man Revelation. So he came back during a pivotal time when they were fighting. And for some reason, they were more than one person could share this power, because He-Man got powered up. Eventually, Adam got the sword back. He became He-Man, the regular He-Man. Then he shared his power with Skeletor, which made Skeletor Super Skeletor. And then he turned Quinjer into Battle Cat. And Skeletor asked him, why did you give me the power? He said, because I wanted you to see how it feels to save the universe. So there was a period in time where they captured Skeletor. When Evil-Lynn overthrew Skeletor, he used one of his magical portals and portal to somewhere safety, and he got arrested. They brought him to the castle where Adam and King Randor and his wife and Man at Arms and Tila were at, and they made an alliance to fight, because Evil-Lynn, the more she stayed as Super Evil-Lynn, she was gathering more and more cosmic energy and awareness. And it was some kind of alignment of all the planets in the whole universe. When that happened, it would bestow this cosmic, um, some kind of cosmic um, phenomenon that would give her the ultimate power. So she was waiting on that. But fast forward into the final scene, Orko came back. Superman, I mean, He-Man got his power. He gave the power to Skeletor. Um, During that time, Tila was transitioning from Tila to the new sorceress, so she had to go into this magical pool, but she chose not to be tethered to Grayskull. She break free, and now she's super powered sorceress, but she can go and come when she want to in regular human form. So she kind of broke those chains, changed the narrative on there, changed the canon. So now the sorceress of Grayskull is no longer tethered to Grayskull. She can go and come as she wants to, and it seems like she can have a romantic relationship with her and Adam. But fast forward to that, they were able to um, sway Evil-Lynn to do the right thing and be good. And as um, Tila of the New Sorceress was changing back all the things that the Evil-Lynn did. One of them was going to send Orko back to the land of the dead, but for whatever reason, Evil-Lynn was able to stop that, and she pulled him back. So Orko is now back among the living. Everything is right in the world. They promoted Tila's friend, Anna, I think her name. She's the new man at arms over the king's army. And Skeletor has been depowered down. He's regular Skeletor, and he flee off. I think the sorceress kicked him somewhere. The He-Man kicked him somewhere. He ended up being back where Triclops and the rest of his minions when he was uh, in Snake Mountain. And he was going there and just beat them up and shoot them and stuff and talking junk, say, why did they do this and that? And of course, if you remember the first section, they were influenced and totally turned to this thing called the Mother Box. It basically injected some kind of cybernetic gook into their body system, and she took over that. Well, Skeletor saw this and tried to destroy the model, or he thought, or the statue of the mother box, but actually, or the motherboard, but actually, it was a conscious mechanical look like being. It transformed into this um, winged female looking cybernetic robot thing, and they captured Skeletor, and she injected her claws into him, and then the cybernetic goo was oozing into him and was changing him cybernetically. And as it's doing it, we see the Hordak symbol. And Hordak, if you know, is She-Ra's main enemy. So if they're going to do something else, have a season 2, then maybe we will see She-Ra be introduced in Hordak, because that's how it went off. All in all, I thought this series was very good. It's something was different. I know some people, I can't wait to see the streams. I already been on one stream, like I said, with General Zod. He wasn't a fan of it, but we were able to intelligently talk back and forth about it. And we end up saying we're going to agree to disagree. He saw some of our points. I saw some of his points. Like I said, I don't like the whole thing. There were a couple of things I didn't like, mainly Mark Hamill's voice as the Joker. Joker. Yeah, Skeletor. Really kind of got on my nerves a little bit. But all in all, I really liked it. Did not Was not bored. I watched all 5 episodes today. I saw 2 this morning before I went to work, and I watched other 3 during lunch. So wasn't a bad experience at all. I definitely recommend people to watch it. I give this grade a B. I give it a good B. Possibly B plus, somewhere in that neighborhood. Not an A, um, but definitely a B. And definitely, I would definitely love to see season 2. I'd love to see if they go the Hordak route, and I would love to see that. Again, those out there that hate it, just remember now, just because something that what we used to back in the 80s, things got to evolve, things got to change. I know people saying this woke stuff and they made men. I didn't see that. Yeah, women were powerful, but also they said man at arms was the dangerous man, most dangerous man in the in all of Eternia. King Randall was kicking butt doing one of the fight scenes. Orko, who is a male, whatever species he is, came in there and he kicked ass. He kicked ass at the end, and so I don't think it was all just showcasing feminine power or girl power, whatever you want to classify it as or say it is. I think that it was a happy medium of both of them. And I know some people not going to agree with it, and that's totally fine. But that's just my opinion, my thoughts. So please leave any comments you have down below. I will definitely read them and check them out. And check me out here at 9 o'clock on Chaos Central on Anzo's show, which is the Chaos List. I'm sure that it's going to be hot. I'm sure it's going to be entertaining. Like I said, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Chaos Central. Check out me and several other of our panelists, Anzo, Chris Knight, JJ, LDG, Elihu. We all be there. Alternator, check us out. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, probably about another hour and 15 minutes on Chaos Central. Until next time, peace.